What's going on, everybody? This your boy Bill Mehari here, representing MehariNation Sports Podcast here. Salute to the entire LDBC. Salute to the greater basketball community, though, everybody. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff that's on my mind here today, but we got 6 likes in there. Thank y'all for your support and everything else. Really, truly appreciate it. Keeps the engagement going. And let's go ahead and check out the chat. Mr. King Louis, what's going on, man? Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Bucks today, man. I'm definitely going to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. Mr. John Black Johnny, my Eritrean brother, man. Yesterday was Independence Day, though, bro, and I just didn't felt like talking about it today because there was just too much of a broad topic there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to leave that aside until the right time. But let me just start out by saying this, though. Tonight, we got Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Toronto Raptors. It has been a ferocious series from Game 1. And right now, the Milwaukee Bucks are tested for the first time in these playoffs. They're down 3-2 and 1 loss away from elimination. So, I'm going to get into that in about a few minutes here. But first of all, I wanted the guys to talk about the first team selections there that were released this week. As I got my list here on NBA.com here. Y'all can all check that out there as well. So, for the 2018-19 first team All-NBA, here are the selections. Point guard, Stephen Curry. Shooting guard, James Harden. Giannis Antetokounmpo, Paul George, and Nikola Jokic from Denver. Now for the second team. Point guard, Damian Lillard. Point guard, Kyrie Irving. Kawhi Leonard of the Toronto Raptors. Kevin Durant of the Golden State Warriors. And Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, there's the third team. Point guard, Kemba Walker. Point guard, Russell Westbrook. Blake Griffin of the Detroit Pistons. Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz. And LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. And the players that got high votes had the other votes in the selected teams. Bradley Beal, Klay Thompson, and Ben Simmons were among the top 3 there. I'm not going to read the entire list, though, but you guys can check it out the list yourselves. But let me just start by saying this. This list, to me, I didn't have a problem with the first team list. I thought that the first team list was, legit. There were some questions for me about the second team because I felt that Klay Thompson belonged either on the second team and most definitely on the third team. I believe he got snubbed because the fact that he plays on a very good, talented team really has belittled his value as a player. But everybody knows, whoever watches basketball knows the game, understands how significant Klay Thompson is. But for him to not even make an All-NBA team, even at least second or third team, makes absolutely no sense. Now, when I look at the third team, I would take Kemba Walker off the list. Or even on the second team, I would at least take off. It's a tough list, though, but I would take off Kyrie Irving in place of Klay Thompson because of what Klay Thompson does at both ends of the floor, and one of the best shooting prowesses in the NBA. P Money, what's going on, brother? Yeah, I was just about talking about that. Yeah, the media basically said that he was on a down year, but for those who were watching basketball, I didn't see it that way. He had another spectacular year, and he continuously played as well. Listen, the bottom line is this. We can always talk about the superstars on the team, like the Stephen Currys, the Draymond Greens, the Kevin Durants, and the Boogie Cousins, though. But the main important player of that team is Klay Thompson. And he's a huge reason why the Warriors have won 3 championships. Okay? If you take away Klay Thompson out of the equation, they don't win championships. I firmly believe that. Okay? Now, This is going to hurt Klay Thompson during free agency because since he didn't make an all-team, according to the rules of the CBA, he won't be eligible to get the Supermax deal, which is utterly ridiculous. This is a guy that deserves to be paid the money and the value that he deserves, all right? Without Klay Thompson in the 2016 Western Conference Finals against KD and the Thunder at the time, there would be no NBA Finals appearance, all right? That 7-3-9 team, okay? We could all talk about how dominant Steph Curry was that whole year. I totally agree with that. But without Klay Thompson playing his role as basically as the sidekick to Stephen Curry, all right? It's without a doubt, he is the most important player on that Warriors team. Exactly, P Money. They were trying so hard to break up that team. Yep. And you know what's the worst part is? It's the storylines and the narratives that the media continues to keep talking about every single day because they just want this team to break apart so LeBron James can have another opportunity to win more championships and basically, quote unquote, solidify itself as the greatest player of all time or the greatest player in the world. Well, right now, to me, that ship is sailed because right now Kevin Durant holds that status. Okay, he holds that status because he has basically done a lot more in the big stage in the NBA Finals. Now, yes, he's on a loaded team, but you can't dispute the fact what he's been able to do during that time, okay? He's not riding on anybody's coattails. He is continuing to perform at a high level, and he's won championships because of it, because he's playing in a system, playing in a environment that allows him to play basketball and let him do his thing. Yep, Mark Wonderlit. Yes, sir. Good to see you, my Utah brother. Now, I'm going to get into the defensive teams in a few minutes here. But my point of argument is this. I believe in my total heart of hearts, in my opinion, Klay Thompson got robbed. There's no question about it. You know what I'm saying? There's no reason he should not be off the All-NBA team. And that's how I see it. Now then, I'm going to start talking about the All-NBA defensive teams. Now, I'm going to read you guys the list there, starting with the first team. So, for the first team on the All-Defensive team, Eric Bledsoe of the Milwaukee Bucks, Marcus Smart of the Boston Celtics, Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks, Paul George of the OKC Thunder, and for you, Mr. Mark Wonderlit, your center, your homeboy, Rudy Gobert is also on the first defensive team. Congratulations to him. Yes, sir. Now the second team. The second team is point guard Drew Holiday from the New Orleans Pelicans and Klay Thompson at least made all second team defensively. Forward Draymond Green, Kawhi Leonard, and center Joel Embiid. So that's their second all defensive team. Okay? Now, the other players that also got consideration, Danny Green, Patrick Beverley, Derek Wright, and Jimmy Butler also got consideration there too as the guards. Now for forwards, PJ Tucker leads the top of the list, Pascal Siakam and Robert Covington of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Okay? Now, let me just think about the list there for a second there. Now, I still don't understand why Patrick Beverley is at least not on the second all defensive team. Okay, now people don't like Patrick Beverley because they believe he's a dirty player. He takes cheap shots, and he tries to dirty things up, try to hurt dudes. Listen, they can talk all that, but he's the kind of player that you want on your team. A guy that is gritty, tough-minded. He's going to get in your face, and he's going to make stuff happen for you on the defensive end. Okay. I can name a number of teams right now that would love to have Patrick Beverley's services at the moment on championship level teams. Okay. Now, I read over an article too that Mike D'Antoni is a bit upset that PJ Tucker didn't even make defensive team. Well, here's my problem to that. Your team doesn't play any defense. Okay? Now, the Rockets are pathetic when it comes to defense. Now, PJ Tucker, I give him his just due. He had another good season, though, on the defensive side of the ball. But when you talk about the whole team collectively, they do not play any defense at all. Okay? Now, the way I look at the defensive team, though, it's not bad of a list, though. I think you could replace some players. I think Pascal Siakam definitely deserves to be on the second team there too. If I look at the second team again, I would replace Draymond Green with Pascal Siakam there because I think not just because of his breakout year offensively, but his impact on the defensive end for the Toronto Raptors has really made him much more of a valuable player for that team. And more importantly to that, he's been one of the main factors going on in the Eastern Conference Finals. So why the Raptors are now a victory away from the NBA Finals. It's because his ability to defend 3 different positions there, and he's long, lengthy, and can block shots and can defend against other players there too. Okay, he's been having a magnificent season though too, and deserves a lot of consideration for most improved player though too. So that's just what I think about it there as well. Now, I've also been hearing around there too that Jimmy Butler is being recruited by LeBron James to come play for the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, a lot of times the media is going to try to jump on the fact that LeBron is trying to heavily recruit. He's recruiting players to come play for him. No problem with that. Now, the problem is going to be how can the star players handle the narrative and the environment that LeBron brings in? Because of the fact that you're going to be playing with LeBron James, you're going to get not much credit when you do well, but you're going to get tons of criticism when you're not doing well. Now, there are certain players that can handle that kind of pressure, and there are a lot of players that can't. Okay? Now, hopefully, for LeBron James' sake, that he can just focus on getting his team better and just stay away from social media, and hopefully the media can just shut up about this whole notion, about this whole fake narrative that they always put out every single time. It just literally disgusts me. Most of these so-called analysts never even played the sport before. So I take their words mostly with a grain of salt, except for the insiders that actually go in there and talk to a lot of these executives and a lot of these players on an everyday basis. Now, I will say this though too, about the whole Kevin Durant and Chris Broussard thing too as well. I think Chris Broussard just needs to just leave this alone, okay? Now, there are times where people can be trigger friendly on Twitter, and then sometimes it will say some stuff that is just outlandish. Now, I have no problem for Kevin Durant standing up for himself. I don't have any problem at all with it. But there's just too many conflicting things in that in that whole narrative storyline between the two that's really not making any sense at all. So, in my notion, I'm just going to leave this alone and wait till all the facts come out. I'm not going to take any sides on that issue. But if I were gambling on one, I might have to take Broussard's side in a sense that this is a guy that regularly talks to people in the camps of superstar players on an everyday basis. Now, you just have to be careful what stuff that comes out there. Now, I don't always believe everything they say all the time, okay? Now, hopefully when the storm clears, hopefully that this thing can just die out and just focus on free agency. And I know the media is trying so hard to get Kevin Durant out of Golden State by putting in the notion that Durant does not want to play in the NBA Finals. Who says that? Who honestly says that? It's completely garbage. All right. So I don't even want to talk about this anymore. It's just not worth the time to talk about it. Southside Deuces, salute, man. Welcome to the channel, though, brother. Thank you for coming in. Now, let's talk about the Eastern Conference Finals right now. Here's my criticism of the Milwaukee Bucks at this point. They're letting the offense flow way too much with Giannis Antetokounmpo, okay? Now, the problem I'm seeing with the Bucks is this. They're letting Giannis handle the ball most of the time. He's not working off the ball. And now most times when he handles the rock, he likes to be at the middle of the floor, looking to make the quick step to get to the basket and try to get to the rim. Okay? Now, here's the big problem with this. Even if you have shooters out on the floor there, what's happening is, because Giannis will not shoot any mid-range shots or three-point shots, what the Raptors are doing is they're forming a wall around Giannis. And Giannis is not either seeing the double team and not seeing the open man. And honestly, I can see it both ways. Now, what the Milwaukee Bucks need to do is simply this. Use more screen and roll there, but also keep Giannis on the move. So that way he has better chances to go one-on-one and either on the baseline or on the top side. Okay? Now, what the Bucks are doing bad defensively, way too much switching. Okay? How do you switch on a pick and roll and allow Brook Lopez to guard against Kawhi Leonard? It literally does not make any sense at all. And here's the reason why. Brook Lopez is not mobile. Yes, he's tall. Yes, he's lanky. But the problem is he's not mobile. He can't go foot speed with Kawhi Leonard. So, the bottom line is this. The Bucks need to stick to their defensive assignments and stop switching. Because what happens when they switch, it allows Kawhi Leonard to attack the paint and causes the Bucks defense to collapse. That's how the Raptors have been able to get a lot of the three-point shots. Why do you think VanVleet was having his day from downtown? Because of the collapsing defense there. Because Kawhi Leonard draws so much attention when he gets into the paint. Okay? The other thing, too, is this. Chris Middleton needs to show up more. And I think the coach, Mike Bolsdinger, leaving him out there for heavy minutes is really taking his toll on him. Now, he's done a decent job guarding against Kawhi Leonard. But the problem is, just because they put Malcolm Brogdon in the starting lineup in Game 5, in a sense, it shortened the Bucks bench. Because they don't have any other guys in the lineup that can go match for match with Kawhi Leonard. So the thing is this. They need to manage the minutes of Chris Middleton and Giannis better, okay? And what they're going to have to do better, too, is put more shooters out on the floor to create more space. And the backcourt needs to step up better, okay? Middleton, Bledsoe, George has been having a good series. But those two guys in particular, they need to play better. They need to play better, especially on the road there, okay? Now, I will say this, though, too. Now, I don't believe tonight that the Bucks will go home. I'm going to go on a limb and say the Bucks will win Game 6 tonight. I think this is going to be the first defining moment for this young Bucks team. And I think Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be inspired by the challenge there and literally take the game over by the throat. Okay? Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I had no problem with being wrong. Okay, I was wrong when the Blazers got swept there by the Golden State Warriors because I said it would be a 7-game series, and I was wrong. Yep, that's right. You heard me. I was wrong. But the thing is this: I think the bigness of the moment for the Raptors might be too much for this team. Now, guys like Kawhi Leonard is the only guy with finals experience. Remember, he went to 2 NBA finals experience and won a championship there and won finals MVP in 2014. This guy, when it comes to championship moments, he's got that, okay? I'm talking about in terms of the other guys around. How will they handle the bigness of the moment? They're one victory away from their first ever trip to the NBA finals. In the whole country of Canada, they have never tasted an NBA finals experience since the Toronto Blue Jays made the World Series in the early 90s. Okay? The city of Toronto hasn't been celebrated much when it comes to just championship moments. This is going to be the big one. Okay? 1 second, everybody. One second, everybody. Okay, guys, I'm back. Just needed a little family assistant there, so we're all good. So the thing is this: I think, I think tonight, I believe tonight, the Bucks will force a Game 7. They need to adjust how they're guarding against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Okay, they need to do a better job, and also they need to do what got them there to this point. Allowing Giannis to dribble, allowing Giannis to create the tension and kick the ball out of the double teams. Okay, he doesn't need to continue to drive against 2 or 3 guys in there when he runs the break. Okay, they need to do a better job of running the breaks better, and they have to hit their open shots. When they don't hit their open shots, especially from 3-point range, they lose. It's just that simple. You cannot continue to break open threes almost other possessions. Okay. They need to play the full 48 minutes and put their foot on the Raptors' necks. Okay, the one thing that I don't like about what the Milwaukee Bucks is they play in spurts, but they don't consistently hold it together, and it allows the Raptors to dig in and lock in on Giannis better. Okay, and I wanted to say this though too: Kawhi Leonard has been playing magnificent basketball. He has proved once again that he's still one of the best two-way players in the NBA today. All right. Now, if the Raptors do win tonight and they do go against the Golden State Warriors, I believe the Warriors will. If Durant is not able to play in games 3 and 4 when the series does move to Toronto, if the Raptors win tonight, I think this will be a bit of a longer series, but probably a 5-game series. Okay. I just think Golden State Warriors are just too complete of a team and will do a better job of cracking defensively, cracking down on Kawhi Leonard and limiting the shooting of both the guards of Van Fleet and Kyle Lowry. Okay. King Louis just said, "I say Kawhi is better than KD." I would say in my perspective, Kawhi is a better two-way player, but if you talk about the complete overall offensive arsenal, yes, Kevin Durant has that to a science, and he's longer though too. Okay, I say that Kevin Durant is the best player in the world currently, not LeBron James. All right, LeBron James had the title for almost a good decade, but now the title is now switched to Kevin Durant. All right, that's what I'm just going to leave it at that. Now, the one thing that I will say tonight is this is a huge moment for the entire country of Canada. Okay, this is a franchise that has not celebrated much since Vince Carter left in 2005. All right, they've had McGrady and the Carter combination that only lasted 2 seasons. Then Carter left, McGrady left, and then afterwards you had Chris Bosh that had a good stretch there for a few years before Bosh left there too. And then you had DeRozan and Lowry. They made it to one Eastern Conference Finals there when they obviously lost to LeBron, but they couldn't beat LeBron and the Cavaliers. Now, this is their moment to shine. This is their huge moment to finally break through and get to the NBA Finals. Now, I expect the crowd in Toronto to be raucous, especially in Jurassic Park. I will say this though too: Toronto, when they support their basketball team, they come in droves and really support their team. It's a really true home court advantage. I would say. You know what I mean? I'd say that both Toronto and Golden State have some of the best home crowds you'll ever find in the NBA. But I do believe tonight we're going to see a level of Giannis Antetokounmpo that we may not seen before yet. All right, I'm taking the Bucks to force a Game 7 tonight, and we'll be back to Milwaukee on Monday for Game 7. And I know 78 Sports TV will love that. Okay. Mr. King Lewis says, KD's nothing but offense. Kawhi plays on both sides at elite level. I do agree. I'm not disputing that at all. I think if you want a superstar that does it both ways, Kawhi Leonard is your guy. You know what I mean? I'd say if you're a GM trying to sign either Kevin Durant or Kawhi Leonard, you would have a great case for either one of those guys or trying to get both. But the problem is having both players on the same team would make things a bit more more difficult because they both need the basketball. Now, Kevin Durant is good off the ball, and so is Kawhi to a certain extent, but that would be difficult because both those guys would need their shots to be effective. So I would stick with Kevin Durant to be the first guy to get. If not, I would go for Kawhi Leonard. All right? When free agency starts. I'm telling you, the draft and the free agency is going to be the deepest pool of talent we've ever seen in the history of the league. You got a lot of free agents, coming in, going to come in, want big deals, and going to make monster moves. So the entire course of the NBA for the next decade will change this offseason. Bet you on that, okay? Now, like I said before, I got the Milwaukee Bucks winning tonight, forcing the Game 7. Now, for the Bucks then force a Game 7, they need to run their offense better. Don't turn the ball over. Use the bench effectively and give guys like Middleton and Giannis rest. So that way they don't have tired legs heading into the second half. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And then also, enough of the switching of the pick and roll on the defensive end. You don't need to switch with a forward and a big guy, all right? If they continue to play that stupid switching of the pick and roll, they're gonna get destroyed. All right. There's no reason to ever switch off of Kawhi Leonard. Ever. All right. They need to just stick to their assignments and help. And when the help comes, when he drives, bring in the help. All right. No switching needed. If they switch too many times in this game tonight, they will lose. The Bucks will lose. And I guarantee you that will happen. All right. Now, Mr. King Lewis says Kawhi and LeBron beat the Golden State Warriors, just them two. Well, I wouldn't go that far. You still have to figure out how to stop Steph, the Splash Brothers, and Durant. That's not an easy task, but if those two players like Kawhi and LeBron would be able to try to pull that off, I wouldn't have a problem with that at all. That would be no problem whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Man, I'll tell you what, though. If those two players ever play together, that'd be an interesting combination, though. But I don't think Kawhi would want to play with LeBron James because of all the detention that LeBron, gets through from the media. It's who wants to deal with that? Who wants to deal with the ridiculous false narratives that the media creates off the attention from off of LeBron James? All right, literally makes no sense. Get me? Yeah, I got to make sure to keep my throat fresh at all times. All this talking, you really wear your throat out, I know most of y'all do a lot of talking, though, when these live streams, though, as well. It's always fun, always, fun games and all that stuff, Now, if the series is the Golden State Warriors with the Milwaukee Bucks, that's going to be a very tough series because without Kevin Durant, I'll say this. Let me just say this though on the record. Both the Raptors and the Bucks are basically going to give the Warriors everything to handle. And without Kevin Durant, I think this is going to be much more of a longer series than if Kevin Durant was to be healthy and 100%. Because if Durant was healthy and 100%, I think this series would be a sweep. If the Warriors face against the Raptors Friday night, it would be a sweep. All right. John Black 90 says Kawhi is a beast. KD is better offensively and a great defender. Kawhi is slightly better on defense. I do agree with that. Most certainly, Mr. Johnny. Definitely agree with you on that aspect. Okay. Now, if this would be the Milwaukee Bucks versus the Golden State Warriors, barring if the Bucks win the next two games, then I would say this would be a bit of a tougher series because both the Warriors and the Bucks both shoot the three very well. Now, the Warriors are obviously a way better shooting team, historically than the Bucks here. Now, the Bucks are the best 3-point percentage shooting team in the regular season. But the question is, can you make those shots in the big moments? All right. Now, I will say that the Toronto Raptors, if they do win tonight, I think they have a longer odds since that Durant was going to probably miss the first 2 games of that finals. Now, if Durant comes back, in games 3 or 4 of that series, I think it's going to be a complete wash. I don't see the Raptors making any headway. I probably give them 1 victory or 2 victories out of that series against the Warriors. But other than that, I think the Warriors are going to be due to win their 3rd straight championship. And when you think about the history of three-peats, this era of basketball, we have not rarely seen any three-peats, okay? The last three-peat team was the Shaq and Kobe three-peat team, okay? Now, we've had the Celtics of the 60s, the Minneapolis Lakers of the 50s, okay? The Chicago Bulls of the 90s, they did it twice, and then the Shaq and Kobe Lakers of the early 2000s. But since then, we have not yet to see any three-peat teams, and the Warriors are on the cusp of achieving that goal of great immortal teams that won 3 straight championships. All right? It could have been 4 in a row if it wasn't for the Draymond Green suspension back in 2016, okay, in that final series. Now, hopefully, when it's all said and done, we hope that it will be a much more of a competitive final series than the garbage we had with the Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers a year ago when J.R. Smith decided to smoke weed on the final possession of the first game of the finals. You know what I'm saying? Who does that blunder thing, Sorry, J.R. Smith. I had to get you there. All right? So that's just my prediction on that. I got the Bucks winning Game 6, and then they'll win Game 7. Now, if I'm wrong, y'all can come back on this channel and give me all the crow you can throw at me, and I'll eat it with pride. It's all good, all right? It is all good, all right? We're down to 1 more. We have 9 likes in there, man. Let's try to get 1 more. Let's try to get at least 10 likes in there. Why not? Let's try to get 10 likes in the building there, all right? But as soon as basketball is over, though, too, I'll shift my focus to baseball a little bit, though, just a tiny bit, because I like to still talk about other sports there, too. But obviously, the NBA offseason is a totally different realm of free agency. And considering the fact that we're going to have a deep free agency class and a deep draft class this upcoming summer, I'm telling you, bro, it's going to be a really, really interesting. It's going to be a historical summer that's going to change the fabric of the NBA for the next decade. What's John Black Johnny say? He said, "Fun fact: according to Dr. Sebi, weed is a great remedy against most diseases. I smoke it all day." Yeah, ain't that a surprise, huh? Sorry, bro. I can't do it. I don't smoke nothing, though, man. I can't do it. Just can't do it. See, here's another thing about me. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. It's just that I just said I was raised well not to do anything stupid to harm my body. It's just one of those things where it's like, what's the point of even using them? You're just hurting yourself even more. So, I'm not down with the whole weed thing, though, man. But most people use it for medical purposes, though. And I really think that in some point in time, they just need to legalize weed and just get this over with, because it's just the whole weed thing is just garbage. It's just complete banning weed is just garbage. Just legalize marijuana, use it for medical purposes or for safe recreational purposes, and then just leave it that way. Very simple. But that's just my little spin on that, though. So yeah, it's cool, bro. Yeah, I agree. It's all good in the hood. That's how they always say, though, too. So okay, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, though, guys. So that's just a bit about that's a bit of the stuff I got going on in the NBA right now. Obviously, I'm gonna watch that Game 6 tonight, though. So, and I will do this too. Also, starting on the Game 1 of the 2019 NBA Finals, I will also give you guys a play-by-play exclusive there of the game, though, too, from yours truly as well. I'm going to give you guys all the commentary, all the little things that I'm seeing in the games, though, too. So stay tuned to that, and make sure to share this live stream on your social media platforms, too. We got 229 subscribers there. We're about at least 71 away from 300, though. Let's try to get to 300 though, guys. All right. Make sure to share this live stream, don't win, and smash the like button on the way out. So this has been MehariNation Sports Podcast here. Salute to the entire LDBC, and I'm out. Take care, everybody.